Welcome to your Ethereum News Roundup. Here's your latest for Monday, July 7th, 2025. Bit Digital Inc. pivots its strategy to Ethereum. The U.S. Treasury drops its appeal in a Tornado Cash lawsuit. Vitalik advocates for copyleft licensing. And Unichain launches its Futarki funding experiment. All this and more starts right now. Bit Digital Inc. announced a pivot in its corporate treasury from Bitcoin to Ethereum. After raising $172 million through an equity offering and selling approximately 280 Bitcoin, the company has accumulated a treasury of more than 100,000 Ether. CEO Sam Tabar highlighted Ethereum's programmable capabilities, staking yields, and growing adoption as key drivers behind the move. Bit Digital plans to stake its ETH holdings to generate ongoing yield, positioning itself as a publicly traded platform focused on Ethereum native treasury management and staking operations. The company joins other global corporate ETH holders such as SharpLink Gaming, BTCS Inc., and BitMine Inc. The U.S. Treasury has dropped its appeal in a lawsuit filed by crypto advocacy nonprofit CoinCenter. CoinCenter and the U.S. Treasury agreed to end the lawsuit after recent court rulings concluded that OFAC's sanctions on Tornado Cash smart contracts exceeded the Treasury's statutory authority. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit granted a motion to dismiss the case, officially ending CoinCenter's legal battle against OFAC. CoinCenter filed the lawsuit against OFAC in October 2022, arguing that the agency lacked authority to sanction smart contracts. In January 2025, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 5th Circuit ruled in favor of the argument, finding that the Treasury had overstepped its legal powers. Despite the legal victory, Tornado Cash developer Roman Storm is still scheduled to go on trial on July 14, 2025. Vitalik Buterin published a blog post reflecting on open source licenses, explaining that he now favors copyleft licenses over permissive licenses. Both are types of open source licenses, but the key difference is that copyleft licenses require that any modified or derivative work be released under the same license. In contrast, permissive licenses like MIT or CCO allow anyone to use, modify, and redistribute the work with minimal restrictions, even in proprietary projects. Buterin highlighted copyleft's approach of using copyright against itself to enforce openness without posing strict licensing requirements on enterprises in crypto. And lastly, the Uniswap Foundation's Conditional Funding Markets pilot, a Futarki-based funding experiment, is now live on Unichain. Users can now deposit USDC into their Butter smart wallet to predict which protocols would generate the most TVL growth if awarded grants for user incentives. Participating protocols include Compound Finance, Euler, Morpho, and Venus. Forecasters can earn rewards based on the accuracy of their predictions once the markets settle using actual TVL data. In other news, Besu releases version 25.7.0, Aragon releases version 3.0.12, and the Ethereum Foundation announces over 58 global Ethereum meetups. This has been a roundup of today's top news stories in Ethereum. You can support this podcast by subscribing and following us at ETH Daily. Also subscribe to our newsletter at ethddaily.io. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.